All right, so I want to go over 4 main things on how I stay on track while I'm working on the new business and the new journey. So, principle number 1 is to identify the goal. I have very clear goals outlined, very specific, very clear. Once you have the goals outlined, both in personal and professional, from there you need to reverse engineer and figure out exactly what actions need to be taken to propel you toward those goals. That can be as simple as, going to the gym so many times a week, waking up at a certain time, reading a certain amount, making a certain amount of phone calls, sending a certain amount of emails. I mean, you can get real specific. I tend to block mine in more general categories. It just works better for me. So I'll give you a prime example. I've got a target on how many properties I want to sell. And the reason I have that target is because based on averages for the price of the houses I sell and the average on the commissions, I backtracked it from the amount of money I want to make into the amount of properties I need to sell. Well, in order to sell those properties, there's a few things that I have to do every day in order to gain new clients. So those become my action points, and so on and so forth. So once your goals are identified, and you've nailed down the actions that you need to take in order to get to those goals, daily activities. The second main thing you need to do is put it down and track it. So what I use is a habit tracker. It's just a sheet of paper. It sits on my desk. I've got 31 days on each one of them. It's just a spreadsheet. I've got a personal section and a business section. The personal section is stuff like going to the gym, reading my Bible, going to men's group, different things that I want to work on. And I literally put a check every time on every day that I do it. For the business side, it's, making calls, and I specify which calls I'm making, follow-ups, new prospects, expired leads, FSBOs, so on and so forth. Sending out mailers, posting the videos. This is one of my goals, so posting the videos is on there. And I literally go through and I check every single day that I do the tasks associated with the goals that I have outlined. And at the end of a month, you can actually see how consistent you were. You can see which days you missed. You can make notes why you missed that day. And you can actually start to tangibly see what you're working on. The reason this is so helpful is because a lot of times the things that we're working on, or the tasks that are associated with the goal that we have, takes time for the results to start to come to fruition. But when you have that sheet of paper and it's covered in check marks, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and it kind of gives you a little bit of fresh motivation. And then vice versa, if you see that sheet looks a little naked and maybe you didn't do so hot that month and you missed a bunch of days and a bunch of tasks, well, that's a different kind of kick in the pants, but at least you have a record and you may know why you haven't moved forward as far as you think you should. The third thing that I like to do that really helps me stay on track on a daily basis is each morning when I get to the office, there's always kind of this chaos of mess in your head, all the different things you got going on, the different things you want to do, the different things you need to do, tasks, events, whatever. I have a notebook dedicated to this, and I just literally, as soon as I get to the office, I just brain dump it out on paper. I don't organize it. I just get it out of my head and onto paper. That way I don't lose or forget anything, and then I can take my time going through it and organizing it into actual tasks or calendar events or whatever I need to do from there. But at least it's out on paper and I'm not taking up headspace with it anymore. So identify your goals and the habits or activities that'll get you there. Put it on paper, start tracking it, and each morning just dump out everything that's in your head onto a sheet of paper. This helps keep your head clear, helps keep you focused. You don't have a bunch of squirrel moments where you start to do something and you're like, oh, I forgot, and you have to run another direction. It's already written down on some paper. So brain dump it out. Okay. And the last big thing that I do that helps me stay on track is I follow a schedule. I don't have a boss. Any business owner, you don't have a boss anymore. So there's nobody to yell at you if you're late to work. There is no such thing as being late to work. However, if you don't have some sort of a schedule, you're never actually going to reach where you're wanting to go. You have to have structure. So for me personally, I'm at the office every day no later than 6:30. That gives me an hour of me time. I can get the brain dump done. I can do a little reading, just to have a little bit of calm before the chaos of the day starts. 7:30, I start prepping for my calls. 8 o'clock sharp, I'm prospecting. I do about 2-3 hours of prospecting. I take a break, I eat, then I'll do, active client work, and then I'll circle into either appointments or future client work and brand development stuff. That's sort of the way I've been structuring my days for a while now. And what it does is it just helps me. It's my accountability. Like, I set an alarm every day, and I get up and I do the same routine roughly every day, and everyone knows it. My family knows it. I mean, everybody knows it that's associated with me. Trevor's up and at the office early. He's not sleeping in. He can't stay out late because he gets up early. It's just a part of my life. If it wasn't for that, if I didn't have that structure, I don't think that I would actually get as much done as I do, because I have specific times for specific activities. And that's how I fill up the habit tracker, because each block on the habit tracker is associated with a block of time in my schedule. So I literally have it scheduled to do. So if I don't do it, there needs to be a real good reason why it ain't done. So these are 4 things to think about that help me stay on track. Hopefully it'll help you as well. So again, that's identifying clearly the goals that you're after. Short-term, long-term, whatever. Identify clearly the tasks that are associated with those goals that will get you there, and put them on a habit tracker. So the goal and the activities, translate it to a habit tracker, start tracking and measuring your progress. Brain dumping helps keep your head clear during the day. You just dump it all out in the morning. You can organize and deal with it later. And sticking to a schedule, okay? The schedule gives you structure that you can lean into, a routine that you can build on, and those 4 things working together in tandem will help you with consistency. Hopefully this is helpful, something to think about. We'll see you next time.